This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotatonetwork.com.
Watching television, watching television. Watching television, watching television. I need all the image, I need all the sound, I know the info right into my mind.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trial by Pilot. This is the show where we judge an entire series of television and the work of hundreds on one episode. I'm Bill Lynch.
I'm Elizabeth Lynch.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween! I'm Elizabeth Lynch, who's just 1 year older than I was the last time you heard me.
Elizabeth made sure I told her which of these episodes was coming out after her birthday, closest to her birthday, so she could wish herself a happy birthday.
No, so you could wish me a happy birthday.
You didn't even give me a chance. You jumped right in there.
Well, I knew you weren't going to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it.
You were not that. You weren't excited about it. You're like, well, this is going to be our Halloween episode.
Yeah, you can't have a Halloween / birthday episode. It's just too much.
No, but you can, because I always celebrated do you know how many costume parties I had as a kid for my birthday?
How many?
Like, a couple.
What was
3
your
or
best
4.
costume ever?
Ever as a kid or in adulthood?
Both.
All right. As a kid, probably when I went as a spider. Yeah, I'm going to say a spider. My mom made it. And my arms, she made these, I would lift my arms up. And there were, these big, stuffed tubes that looked like spider legs underneath me.
Yeah, I've seen people dressed as a spider before.
Well, my mom made it from scratch, okay? It was really good. That might have been the best one.
Nice.
Adult? It's a toss-up between Christina Aguilera.
That was my favorite Halloween costume of all time.
I don't know. We did a lot of good couples costumes. What do you think?
I don't know. What couples costumes have we done? Beauty and the Geek.
Beauty and the Geek. That was a reality show that was on that we really liked at the time that no one remembers. But it was a cute costume.
That was such a good show.
Yeah, I know.
What was that,
I loved that show.
15 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
Jeez.
We went as Smalls and Wendy Peppercorn.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
We went as a moth and a light bulb.
Oh, yeah.
We went as bikers
That was a good one.
from Super Troopers.
Oh, bikers. I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot. What's your best Halloween costume?
I don't remember any from when I was younger.
Except pirate. That was your first one. That's why we made Billy's first one.
That's true. I was a pirate. I was a vampire one year. I think my mom made the vampire costume. I dressed up as a woman with my friends in, I don't know, 8th grade or something.
That's an 8th grade costume.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly.
I've done that multiple years, actually. Nothing really jumps out. I never, I liked dressing up. I never put a ton of time into making a costume or anything.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
Halloween. I love doing that.
Well, we did together.
Yeah. Anyway, this is our Halloween episode, guys. It's gonna be spooky.
Yes, enough of this lighthearted talk.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Because we're talking about The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Which technically isn't a pilot.
No, technically it is.
Well, we had a little bit of discussion. I'm not arguing that we should do. I'm glad we're doing this, but we did The Haunting of Hill House,
Yes.
and so it's an anthology series. It's is it a pilot or is it just a standalone thing? I don't know.
If you look up Haunting of Bly Manor, or if you pull it up on the TV or anywhere, it's just its own separate title, 2022, whenever. So even though it's has some of the same actors and was made by the same people and it's for Netflix,
You consider it a standalone.
it's a standalone miniseries.
So different than The Terror.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
well, The Terror, the title is the same.
right, the title is the same. At that point, we're kind of just arguing semantics.
Well, I like to do that.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to argue.
That's all you do.
I'm happy to argue in any fashion you want. But I thought it was enough of a separation.
Yeah. No, you're right.
like a completely different title, different setting. So like it's kind of an anthology, but they're also presenting it as its own show that just happens to be made by the same people and has a similar title.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
It's a new show basically on Netflix that will be popular and is coming out around Halloween. So we figured, let's do this one.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed Haunting of Hill House.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
if we hadn't, I don't think you would have made such an argument to do this.
no,
You
and,
know.
yeah, and we had other things on the table, but we both did enjoy Haunting of Hill House. I think my only complaint about really was some of it was a little long-winded.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was like 8 or 10 episodes, and I think that was fine. But some of the episodes were an hour when I think they could have been 45
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah.
But it was still really good, and it had probably like some of the best like genuine scares that I've seen in movies or
Yeah.
TV for a while.
Yeah.
Like really, even like the jump scares were like really earned.
Right.
And I don't really like scary movies because they just always feel so cheap. You know?
Right. But this didn't.
No, it didn't, and that's why I enjoyed it. And so I'm hoping that this gives us the same scary feeling.
Well, it did already.
Oh, right away for you.
Yeah. Well, not for you too. You weren't scared by that first jump scare?
Not as much as you.
Okay. I wasn't expecting it. It was very early on. Let's get into it.
Northern California, 2007. A woman wakes from a dream where she sees this like dark pool of water and a head slowly starts to rise out of it. And she wakes up and we hear her, I think it's her, reciting this poem about lost love as she's like going about her day, like getting ready. And she shows up at a rehearsal dinner that night. And the guy who's already giving a toast as she walks in, like sees her and kind of like awkwardly pauses, as does everyone. But then he continues on and gives like a terrible fucking rehearsal dinner speech.
It
Like,
was dumb. Yeah.
about how they get to like watch each other die and like keeps going on that same note. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this is not fucking funny or appropriate.
Yeah.
But as soon as he says that, her face like starts to drop. Like, so she's obviously bothered by
Yeah.
this.
What he's saying.
But then that evening, they're all like gathered around telling stories, and she offers up a ghost story. She's like, it's long, but they're like, oh, we don't have anywhere to go. Let's
And
hear
she's
it.
like, it's not mine.
Yeah, she says that twice. It's not my story.
Right.
So like clearly it's her story.
Yeah. Somehow. We don't know how yet, though.
And so she begins to tell the story of a young girl named Danny in London, 1987. And she's interviewing to au pair for this wealthy man in Essex. As she's crossing the street to go to this interview, a car drives by in front of her on the street, and you see that reflection of some like figure with like glowing yellow eyes.
Wait, you saw it then?
Yes, I was wondering if you saw it.
I did not.
Okay,
I didn't
you
see it.
You must have been taking notes or something.
Yeah, I did not see that.
I mean, you see it for a quarter of a second. It's in the reflection of the car.
Oh.
And it was too quick to even be a jump scare because like
Right.
it just happened so fast.
I did not see that.
And so she's in this interview, and he's telling Danny, who is an American and a former school teacher, about how the job is at this manor in the country with his niece and nephew whose parents passed away. And the interview's going on, and he's like, so tell me, what's the catch? You're in your mid-20s, 30. Why are you giving up your life for someone else's kids? Most people that would interview for this job are twice your age. Mm-hmm. And she says, well, I've seen this posting in the paper every week for the last 6 months. So what's your catch?
Right.
Why is no one taking this job? And then we cut to the bar afterwards, and she's sitting there looking at the classifieds like she knows she probably
blew
didn't
it,
get this
yeah.
job. But then the guy comes in, sits across the bar from her, and she goes over there and says something like, let's toast to the most awkward interview. I know I didn't get it, but...
Right.
So they're drinking and chatting, and she gets him to reveal the catch, which is the last governess at this manor killed herself on the grounds. And so, this story has been spun in this small town up in the country, has all heard it, so no one wants to go and live there now. And her catch, or so she says, was just that she needed to leave home. She had been teaching 25 kids in a class for however long, and it was just too much. She cared so greatly, but she couldn't reach all of them. So she thought, maybe with 2 kids, I could really make a difference and impact their lives. So Danny calls her mom to tell her she got the job. After they leave the bar, he must have offered it to her. And, she's on the phone with her and they get into a little argument. She's saying, I'm not running from anything. I hate when you say that. And we see her getting packed up to go off to the country, and she starts pulling off the sheets of all the mirrors in her room that she's staying in. And then just as she leaves the room, we see the reflection in front of the mirrors, and it's this figure with the glowing yellow eyes.
Yeah.
And
that's when
it got you.
Yeah. No, it was very scary.
I guess I had seen the first one, and I didn't fully connect that it was a reflection of something, but when she started pulling the sheets off the mirrors, I was like, oh, we're going to see something in one of the mirrors. I kind of knew. Yeah. And so Danny arrives at the manor and first meets Owen, the driver, but then meets Flora, the little niece, who I think is the voice of Peppa Pig or something.
Oh, yeah. That. I think you told me that.
Someone had posted that. And she's singing the song that we heard at the beginning of the pilot when the woman was having the dream, some song.
Okay.
And, she's so happy to meet Danny. She's super cheery, positive, bubbly.
Welcome to our house. Welcome. This is splendid. Look at this room. It's just splendid.
Perfectly splendid. Perfectly splendid. But she urges her not to go near the lake. When we meet Flora, she's kneeling down by the lake.
Right.
And she rushes up to Danny and then gets her to turn around oh no, don't go near the lake. It's hard. It's filled with leeches. You don't want to go by there.
Right.
And she puts down this strange looking doll, looking at the lake before they walk away.
Yeah.
And it zooms in on this little creepy doll.
Well, yeah, it's a little voodoo doll.
Yeah. Made with grass or sticks or something.
Yeah.
Then they meet her brother Miles and the housekeeper. And Flora tours the 4 of them around, like you said. Oh, this room's perfectly splendid, blah blah blah. Except the classroom. She's like, this room is quite boring.
Right.
Haha, that's the joke. That she doesn't call that one perfectly splendid.
I thought it was really cute.
Miles gives Danny a little butterfly clip as a welcome gift, and as she's bathing Flora that evening, she turns to look at something, and Flora exclaims where did you get that?
Yeah.
That's not yours. And
in what I thought was a little creepy, I think this is the first time you see Flora turn on a dime.
Yeah.
She just gets angry.
Well, yeah, and I think it was supposed to be Flora was looking at something behind Danny in the room. And so
yes.
Danny turns to see what she's looking at. There's nothing there.
Right.
To our eye, and then she sees this clip, and she said, it belongs to our last governess.
Yeah.
And then she stares behind Danny again, and then she goes, oh, never mind. Actually, it's okay. It's okay that you have it.
Yeah.
So you're what the fuck?
Right.
Is the ghost there saying oh no, she can wear my clip?
Right. But it's also just something that maybe makes her pause because it's a big creepy house, but also this is just the way kids are sometimes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
Sure.
She's just okay, this girl's a little weird, but.
And so she's putting the kids to bed, and Flora has a doll that kind of looks like Danny, and she's like, "Oh, is that me? Did you make that already?" And she's like, "No, it's just a doll, silly." And she has this gigantic dollhouse.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was made to look like the manor.
I don't think we could tell. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it wasn't super detailed.
And the dollhouse is just filled with dolls.
With creepy dolls.
Yeah, all of them are handmade from her, sticks and grass, or some of them look a little bit more normal, but then there's one that Danny picks up and it's just faceless. It looks like it was made with white clay.
Yeah, yeah.
It has no face.
But it has hair and stuff. It's just so creepy.
And Danny picks it up to put it away, and Flora's like, no, that one stays there. And Danny nods knowingly. That scene was kind of weird, I thought.
Well, I think she was just doesn't know what these kids have necessarily been through. And so I think she was trying to really be respectful. I think she was trying to take cues from them. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like I'm new in this space and I don't know who this doll. Like, I think it's clear that like these dolls look like people, or she's making them.
Right.
Right. So she's like, okay, and she's already like seen her flip on a like for a second.
Yeah.
So I think she's just kind of like, okay, like I'm not gonna call her on anything right now. Just whatever you want. I'm in your house. You know.
Yeah. And then Flora says, just promise me one thing. Stay in bed until the morning. Don't leave your bed at night.
Right. And she says to her, she's like, I can't promise you that.
Right.
Like, she's just like such a good babysitter.
Yeah.
And like in the way where she's like, well, I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. But she says, but for tonight I will.
Right.
But of course she doesn't. She goes wandering through the house and she's making tea and she goes into the hallway because I don't remember if she hears something or not. And we like see her through like something that's like only partially obstructing the camera.
Right.
And then she goes back in, gets her tea, and goes back up the stairs. And whatever was partially obstructing the camera is still there. But then as she walks up the stairs, it moves, and you see it's like a figure.
Right. It's like a hooded figure. So I don't know if maybe it was like a statue.
It looks like, you might not know, like a plague mask, like one of those like long, like bird beak kind of plague masks.
Yeah.
Did you see that at all? It was dark, obviously.
There was something. Yeah, I can see how you would say that because you didn't see it head on, but there was like a long, pointy like part of it.
Yeah.
And then as it turned, you saw more of like the back of the figure. So that could be what it is.
Also, we were watching this with all of the lights turned off except for a small lamp, and the lamp's reflection was in the fucking TV while I was watching it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was fine.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, I know because I was
on the
watching
other couch.
Anyway, the next morning, Flora scolds Danny for leaving her room. She said, the lady in the lake is going to see you if you leave your room at night.
Yeah.
And so this all happens while they're out on the grounds, and Danny's walking her back to the house and sees someone up on the parapet of the old wing, which is where their parents lived before they passed away.
And you're not allowed to. That was one of the first things on the tour. Like, we don't go in that wing. You're
Yes.
not allowed in there.
Right. But everyone says, nobody would have been up there. You must have imagined it. Like, sometimes there's ramblers on the grounds that like are just exploring. Sometimes they like are found wherever, but they would have had to come through the house and go up the stairs and go here. Like, there's no way anybody was up there. And so Danny goes up there, and on the parapet, all she finds is a little makeshift doll again.
Right.
But from up there, she sees a distant light in the chapel, which is like across the courtyard. And so she goes in there and finds the housekeeper praying. And so they talk, and the housekeeper reveals that Flora was the one that found the governess dead in the lake. The governess had killed herself by like just walking into the lake one night, and she found her like face down in the water. And so that night, Danny's putting Flora to bed, and she like kicks over the creepy doll because it's in the middle of the floor.
Right.
I don't know if like Flora was playing with it or like doing something with it, or if it just like moves around. Who knows? But then as she picks it up, Flora like sits up awkwardly in bed. And, Danny apologizes, like, where do you want it tonight? Do you want it in your dollhouse? Do you want it under the dresser? As Miles comes in and says, I need the electric fan from Flora's closet. And so she like, as on the way to the closet, she like tucks the weird doll into bed with Flora and goes into the closet. She's looking for the fan, and they slam the door and lock her in there. And she starts like yelling to let her out right now. And they're like, oh, we're trying, the key won't work. And so she starts to panic, and she turns, and there's a mirror in there.
Yeah.
And of course the figure is in the mirror. And so she freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
Knocks over the mirror and like covers it up with something. And
I mean, she's having a full-on panic attack.
yeah,
Like, legit.
Yeah.
She's scared.
Later that night, the kids finally open up the door. So she comes out, and it's like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Like, get to bed right now.
Yeah.
And she leaves their room, where she finds wet footprints. I think it was just one set of footprints.
I don't remember.
I think it was just one set. But she's like, they went outside?
Right.
And so she follows the footprints. And as she's following them out the front door, she turns to look at the house. And Miles and Flora are both in their rooms staring down at her.
Yeah, in separate windows. Like
In separate
they're each
windows.
in-
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are so creepy. Like, I thought Miles was creepy in the beginning when he like sort of walks in on her, like when she first gets there.
Yeah.
And he just like walks in, and he has like no shame about walking in on her. She's like starting to get undressed, and she's like a little bit like weirded out by it. but like they just are creepy in so many different ways. Yeah, I don't know. They're just weird kids.
Yeah. And that was the pilot to The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was scary. And creepy. Not like scary, like I was scared every single moment she was in the house, but there were like, it was creepy. Like
Yeah.
there were things you didn't know if something was going to happen. And like these kids were so good at being just like normal kids. And like they're talking with their housekeeper and their cook and the gardener and all this. Like, but like everybody in the house is a little creepy.
Owen's not creepy.
No, but he's guarded.
Sure, yeah.
There's like something, there's just like some distance between everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the gardener, they say like some like young woman comes in. She doesn't even introduce herself
Right.
to
Danny.
Danny. She like barely acknowledges that she's there. And so that was weird. And so like we almost like don't even really get introduced to her.
Right.
It's just like, okay, this character's here now. So it's just kind of like what's up with everybody and like what happened. So I liked it. And like sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it because I don't like feeling really nervous while I'm watching something. But at the same time I do.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people watch fucking scary movies, yeah.
But it's good. And I like The Haunting of Hill House so much that I feel like I'm going to really like this. Because I know that it's going to be like really good, like a good story and good scares.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really creepy. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the perfect time of year for this. Like, I like when it's like a rainy night like this to like sit down and like have some popcorn and watch a fucking scary thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it too. It had a good tension to it. I don't remember how much scary stuff was in the pilot to Haunting of Hill House. I remember
I
that
don't remember either.
whoever
The end of
with
that
the sister,
one.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was, I think, the real.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So I think there was also something earlier on with like the younger version of the girl where we see the ghost just very briefly. But then for the pilot, I think it was mostly straight until the very end.
Yeah.
So I was almost a little disappointed where they showed the ghost and the reflection on the car door, because that was like right at the beginning. I'm like, really? You're already showing the ghosts? It seemed a little fast. And then they showed it again like a couple minutes later, and then they showed it a couple times.
Oh, yeah, you saw him a few times to the point where it's like, how is she even still scared of this thing?
Yeah, you saw him at least 4 times in this pilot.
And at one point, she just like stared it head on and like smacked the mirror and it went away.
Yeah, and like wiped the condensation. So you see it like 4 or 5 times as viewers. I just thought maybe it was a little bit too much. Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
should have
can see
waited a
that.
little bit. But at the same time, I mean, it was creepy. It was effective. I just
Yeah.
wish maybe they would have waited until later in the episode.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I kind of liked that you knew right away that she had this baggage, and so she's going into this like creepy thing, like.
I guess. I mean, you can imply that she has baggage, and like as a viewer, you like kind of can guess it anyway without immediately showing the ghost.
Well, I didn't see the ghost immediately.
Well,
So I don't know if that's something, if it was like easy to miss, or maybe I was just taking notes and looking down, so I missed it.
yeah. I mean, that's a minor complaint. I would prefer that over like the family stuff from Haunting of Hill House that I felt like went on too long.
Right.
So I guess there's a balance there. I
Well,
also
I feel in Haunting of Hill House there was so much to introduce. There were so many
Yeah.
characters. It was their present day. It was their past. It was all of that.
Oh, right. Well, I think that there's more characters to come in this show.
Okay.
Because I know that the actor who played Luke Crane is in it, and I saw another actress in the commercial for it in the trailer that was not in the pilot.
Okay.
So there's going to be at least a couple more characters introduced. I also am not entirely sure how I felt about the actress who portrayed Danny's acting, or maybe some of the choices she made.
Yeah, I thought she was interesting. I don't know how I felt about it either. I didn't think she was bad.
I don't know what I thought.
She was-
At first I was like, oh, this is like an annoying way to portray this character. And then I like backed off of that a little bit. And I was like, is this like what an American in 1987 might sound like if she was in this situation? I was like, I don't know.
I think she was awkward.
Yeah.
I think she was just awkward. And I think that maybe that's like a definite character choice for this. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
why is she in London by herself? Like, she's
Yeah.
not there with anybody. She's staying in a hostel for however many months. She's on this, we first see her and she's on this job interview and she's just nervous and acting strange. And then you see her with the kids and like, she obviously knows what she's doing. She really was a teacher.
Right.
So she really does know how to like handle kids and like when to scold them and when to, back off of that.
Yeah.
And so I think you like kind of see her like more as like a normal person, but she definitely has some awkwardness.
Yeah.
And it could just be like she's like probably like whatever the fuck it is that she's seeing in the mirror is just probably with her all the time. And so like, I think it's like more of
Yeah.
like a character choice.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do have some either complaints or concerns, but the pedigree from Haunting of Hill House, and I thought it was a good pilot, built up some nice tension.
Yeah.
I'm fine overlooking those other things for now.
And like, just to compare it to the Haunting of Hill House, again, like the young kids in that were like, you loved young Luke and young, I can't remember the other one's name.
Yeah, they were adorable. Yeah, you
They
felt
were
bad for them.
so cute. You felt so bad for them. Like they were being truly haunted.
Yeah.
And these two kids, they're creepy. And they might be being haunted too. And we don't know why. Like we don't know anything really yet.
Right.
But it's so different.
Yeah.
It's very different. And like,
Yeah.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice change of pace. It's not just the same show kind of rehashed.
So I'm wondering what your predictions are between, like, we don't know anything yet. So this isn't a spoiler. Like, we just don't know.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, the woman says, like, this isn't my story. But, like, is it her story? Is she Flora? And then that guy making the speech Miles? Or is she...
I didn't think the guy was Miles.
I just thought of that just now.
The beginning stuff I took as...
Well, first I thought that they were divorced.
Oh.
I thought that they were somehow related to the couple that was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were their parents or something. I don't know. It was like, it was strange because she kind of showed up she seemed somewhat estranged from everybody.
Yeah.
And so he's making this speech and then he turns and sees her and the tone of his speech changes and he says something about marriages ending in divorce. And so I was like, oh, are they married? But like they had some history together.
No.
It was...
She was just so much older than the guy giving the speech, I thought. Like, could that guy have been Owen giving the speech? He had like a slightly darker complexion.
No.
No, yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But she was she was
I
narrating.
also can't remember if he was British or not.
Yeah,
She was. If he was.
He was,
too.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But she was narrating this poem about like lost love at the beginning of the show, and so I'm wondering. I don't know. Maybe she's the gardener.
Okay.
I don't know.
I hadn't thought of that.
I think-
it's not Danny. I don't think it's Danny. Because you said that at first. You were like, oh, is that her? But like they just, I know like it would be played by two different characters, but that actress is younger than who she was portraying in the beginning anyway. So they could have used the same actress, but they also just look too different to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was. I also don't think it was Flora though, because only 20 years had passed. And so like she was, I don't know, 40 years older than Flora.
Well, originally I thought that maybe she was the woman in the lake and that she was a ghost. But then it was clear that everybody else saw her.
Right.
So I don't think she was.
I don't think that was it. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Because we're going to watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we would recommend it.
Yeah.
Especially if over the next couple days, next week, you're looking for something spooky to watch.
Yeah. I think we'll watch it right now.
We'll see. I was up at 1 o'clock last night with our crying toddler.
No, I know. I was too, but I've gotten my second wind.
You have? Oh, gosh.
For a show?
For a show?
Sure I did.
All right. So we recommend The Haunting of Bly Manor. Now, back to Halloween.
Okay.
We talked about costumes we have worn. Mm-hmm. What would you dress up as if you had to dress up as a character from one of the pilots we've watched?
And I can pick any pilot.
Sure.
Any pilot that we've watched doesn't have to be within a certain time frame.
Nope, any pilot.
Woo.
I would dress up as the guy from Dragon's Dogma.
Oh my god.
Because I wouldn't even have to wear a shirt. And I would just Don't even say what you're going to say. All right, well, what would you be?
Who's doing your body makeup? Just kidding. I love you.
Just kidding. You have an 8-pack, Bill.
8-pack of beer.
What?
Anyway, I mean, I think the obvious choice is Villanelle, because who wouldn't want to dress up like in anything that she wore?
Yeah. Oh, you also want to dress up as the lead from The Capture.
Yeah, but no one would know who I was.
Of course not, yeah.
But yeah, I have been looking and I can't find, I'm not kidding. Like I've been doing a lot of online shopping, like browsing, like so much browsing, looking for stuff. And I can't find anything like the outfit she wore. Nothing.
Really?
I can't find it. I can't find hunter green wide leg dress pants. And I can't find like that perfect like green like matching blouse. I can't find it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there's like a better answer though than Villanelle, because I just feel like that's too obvious.
Yeah. The Mandalorian would be easy. Just get a Boba Fett costume and alter it.
Or like one of the what was the show we watched with the AI?
Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves, one of those AIs.
That episode.
I'd never wear such a clingy bodysuit. Personally.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to like really go all out for a costume, then yeah, you could do like her bronze form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That episode's getting a lot of downloads too.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Is it like really popular?
I think it's a popular show. Yeah, people are looking
Oh.
for more discussion on it.
Okay. Sorry to disappoint, guys. I didn't like it. Oh. Obviously, I'd go as the Duchess.
Oh
In
yeah.
the world's smallest pussy shirt. Obviously. That's a great costume. Anything she wore, too, I think is a good choice. Like that pajama top with the feathers coming out.
Well, also nobody would know. They would just think you were wearing a crude shirt.
What the fuck? She's trick-or-treating with her kid like that? We could go, oh my god, we should go as teenage bounty hunters.
Oh my gosh.
In their school uniforms. That's like pretty good.
We could dress up as some of the characters from Vagrant Queen on Sci-Fi.
Oh my god.
I'm looking through our list of shows.
Warrior Nuns? I know, I'm looking through them too.
We watch a lot of shows where it's just like people, like normally dressed. So there's not a ton to choose from. Oh, you could dress up as the handmaiden from Sacred Lies.
Oh my god. That would be great. And I'd walk around with like no hands and I'd be like, how'd I do this braid? Oh, Los Spookies. Those got some like good Halloween costumes.
Yeah. Are we gonna watch any scary movies for Halloween this year?
Like what?
I don't know.
Well, last year we went and saw The Lighthouse.
Oh, that's right.
Around Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch one. Well, started to watch Beetlejuice not long ago, but we couldn't stay up and finish it. And that was kind of fun because I really don't think I've seen that whole movie. There was so much I didn't know.
That's a great movie. Yeah, we started to watch it on vacation.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's such a good movie.
And it was on, I don't know.
Freeform or something like that.
Yeah, so it was with commercials and it went on way too long. We were like, all right, we need to go to bed.
Yeah.
But that's a great movie.
And I love seeing Catherine O'Hara and other things. Because, I know she's great. I knew she was great before Schitt's Creek, right?
Sure, yeah.
But I just love seeing her in this, wide range of characters. And she's so good because the only scene I think I really remember is when they start up and start singing, the...
6 foot, 7
foot,
foot,
yeah.
8 foot.
That is brilliant. Her performance in that scene is so flawless. She's just straight... Oh, my God. She's
Scene
so
is
good.
so good, yeah.
It's so good. I really would like to finish that movie. I don't remember where we left off, but that was really good.
Tallyman, tally me banana. I think we stopped somewhere shortly after that.
Yeah.
That had happened, and then we're going to invite Maxie over.
Yeah.
So we could pick up from there.
Yeah. All right. And then, of course, I feel like every year we see at some point during Hocus Pocus we watched it, but it has been years since I've watched that from beginning to end. You don't like that movie?
No, that movie's great.
Oh.
I just feel like I've seen it from beginning to end recently.
Really? I have not. I wasn't sure what your face was. You're like, eh.
No, Hocus Pocus is great. But I feel like everywhere we are, that's always playing during Halloween season, and even if we don't sit down from beginning to end, I see the whole movie within the span of a couple weeks. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What's another good Halloween movie to watch?
I don't know.
You said, a lot of scary movies are stupid.
Right. I want you to eventually watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay.
Which I watched last year for the first time, and it's one of my favorite horror movies. It's not Halloween-y, but it's a horror movie.
I love how you're like, I watched it last year for the first time and it's my favorite thing.
What?
I just think sometimes it's funny. You're like, I just got into this thing. I mean, it's an old thing. I just got into it and it's my favorite thing.
I only said it like that because it's an old movie that I had just never seen.
Right.
But it's known as it's like a classic movie.
I know.
So,
I just like to make fun of you for
I know,
being
bud.
so obsessed with things.
But
Guys, did you know that Bill likes dark?
But I had just seen it for the first time and really enjoyed it. It's fantastic. So I would like to watch it again.
All right. Well, if you guys have any suggestions for us.
Yeah, let us know what kind of scary movies we should watch.
Yeah.
And not cheap jump scares.
Right.
It's got to be earned.
Want to watch The Craft? Love The Craft.
No, I watched that too much as a kid.
Yeah, I know.
Probably.
What was with that movie? Why did we all watch it so much?
I think Erica was probably obsessed with it, so it was just always on in my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I watched it every sleepover.
Yeah.
That and Foxfire.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Jenny Lewis was in it.
Jenny Lewis on her Instagram the other day reposted somebody that had found some old magazine article with Jenny Lewis as a kid making a smoothie.
What?
It was some kids magazine. I don't know. It was
like Choose and Teen.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
And it was
okay.
Jenny Lewis makes a smoothie. And it was an interview with Jenny Lewis as she was making some very simplistic smoothie as a kid.
Oh my gosh. It must have been after Troop Beverly Hills came out.
I'm sure,
yeah. Oh my God.
All right, everybody.
Jenny Lewis makes a smoothie.
Have a very happy Halloween. And one last time, we are reminding you to vote.
This is it. This is our final push. We can't do it again after this.
You better be registered by now. And if you plan to vote early, you should have checked with your states and counties policies already. I don't know what to tell you at this point. Just make sure you vote.
Yeah. Sit down with your ballot. Don't have any drinks around. Just so you don't spill it on there.
Or if it's an option and you want to, go vote in person.
Right.
Just do it safely. Yeah. Whatever you need to do. All right, everybody. Have a happy and safe Halloween and go watch The Haunting of Bly Manor.
All right. Oh, and thank you to the Beats. Oh, wait. You didn't finish your whole
Relax.
thing. just sounded like we were closing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I could thank them before everything else.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
But I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I like the way we do it.
Okay, let's not throw things off. If you have suggestions on shows for us to watch, you can email us at trialbypilot@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at trialbypilot. And go on to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, subscribe to our show, leave a review, tell a friend, all that good stuff.
And thank you to the Beats for providing our theme music.
Thanks, Beats.
Bye.
Bye.
Watching